Hello everyone. Welcome back to the stream. I'm uncooked to one of those sides of me is Jagger, and we are here for the third and fourth games that you're going to be seeing today. Obviously, this is now the third one. Cool Guys Esports versus Blue Jays Ventus. And Jagger, it's looking like it's going to be a pretty good match.
It is very exciting because, again, I have a little bit of a bias because I may or may not know some players from Team Cool Guys, but I promise to keep it as unbiased as possible, except for the first round, the second round, the third round, the fourth round, and potentially the fifth, sixth, and seventh round, and if it goes any more than that. So, yeah. Anyways, ignore my bad joke, but yeah, I'm really excited to watch this game. I've been out of the casting game for a while, and you know how it is with the uni, so we're just excited to get back into it.
I
And
don't.
the first game, oh, fair, fair enough.
I can
But
only assume.
it's it's been pretty hectic, but I'm here and I'm ready to cast some more Talent League. And what better game to start it off than a game where I can watch my friends get completely destroyed 7-0 by another team, which I think is pretty cool.
Well, it's good that you have confidence, I suppose. I mean, man, where do we begin? Actually, I can tell you where we begin by looking at these teams: Cool Guys Esports, and like we said, Blue Jays Ventus. The second of two Blue Jays teams that we have in Talent League Major Division right now. Obviously, the other one, Blue Jays Talents. We saw them earlier picking up a win against the was a fairly surprising win against Chillwagon, the mostly Polish lineup, including a tier 1 player, Jagger. So lots of things to digest there. But in the meantime, looking at these two teams, obviously you've potentially joked about Cool Guys getting 7-0'd. What are your actual thoughts? Like, do you want to break that down a little bit more, or?
I know that the guys have been working a little bit off and getting, things up to speed, but unfortunately they're playing with a sub or two today because of other reasons, and they're not gonna get into it, but they're not playing at their full strength lineup. So I'm expecting them to put in a good shift. I think it just comes down to if they have that, as the rank stars would call it, the passion to win today, you know? Because I feel like they don't really have that kind of team bonding and experience that they usually do because they are playing with the sub, like I said. So it's a flip of a coin because I don't know what to expect. Because when you bring in subs, right, either you're gonna explode and you're gonna completely annihilate the opponent, or you're gonna get smacked around like a bee. So like, I don't know. What are your thoughts on Cooked?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot of these. You have obviously Blue Jays Ventus. I recognize a couple of players, Cyrilloid and Dent mainly. I think those guys are hailing from the country of Ukraine. Very nice place. And on Cool Guys, the only player I really recognize is Divine. The others, obviously, I don't know which of the 7 players will be in the lobby because we only have 4 of them in right now. But yeah, that's really the only person I recognize from that roster. So yeah, we do have all the players in now. So just to wrap up this, let's just look. Blue Jays Ventus. They managed to qualify through the Invite Open Series, of course.
Yep.
All that regular stuff, and it looks like they've been doing pretty well for them. So coming into that, I think they had a pretty tough group as well. I'm just going to check that. So why don't you take us through the op bans before we get into that?
Of course. I mean, we're playing Villa, and that usually means, as you're gonna see on the screen, that the Thatcher ban is probably gonna come out. I mean, I think especially considering this new season as well, the EMP gadget, I've seen a lot less pros. I mean, it's a very small sample size of EUL and just the NAL game, but in EUL especially, they didn't really ban Thatcher quite a lot because of the new EMP secondary gadget. So I don't know if the Thatcher ban is something that's going to be shifting away from the meta where you don't really need to ban Thatcher because everyone kind of has this EMP. You can always play a different operator, or it's gonna stick through. It's gonna be interesting to see. But the Jackal ban also does come up by Cool Guy Esports, really making sure that roam game isn't gonna be that contested, as well as a mirror ban. Now Blue Jays, they have the final ban, expecting a Kaid, expecting probably a Valkyrie, because Valkyrie, especially as you know in Cook, is a really strong operator on any map, but on Villa especially, considering how open it is. And yes, that's exactly what comes through. So pretty standard bans here. I don't think there's anything too out of the ordinary. Looks like a ranked game ban, considering the Jackal ban, but you know, you never know. So like you said, Cool Guys
looking
on attack
at
first.
the
You're gonna be able to see.
You mentioned about the Thatcher bans, obviously in pro play. Thatcher has not been banned so far. I don't obviously NAL is going on right now. I was only able to watch the first game, but Thatcher managed to make it through all of EUL and that first game of the North American League as well. The operator that hasn't, which I'm surprised we haven't seen banned here, is Nook, because, you know, especially with now the buff to suppressors, we'll probably see a lot of suppressors coming through today if these teams have been keeping up with things. And yeah, Nook obviously with a suppressor is going to be even more deadly, managing to sneak past cameras, sneak where you don't want her to, and with a quieter gun, it's going to be really difficult to be able to pinpoint where that push is coming from until it's far too late. So seeing the Nook not taken off the board is surprising, but yeah, Jackal being taken off means that we might be seeing a lot of it.
True, you know, I always like the Jackal ban because it makes for a much more interesting game, I guess you could say, because it always gives teams a lot more freedom to do some kind of sneaky plays where they won't get drawn out. Then you know the Jackal ban. But speaking of plays, Dent on Blue Jays from the bottom. Was that a spawn peek run out from the door onto slows? Yeah. That's not how you want to start it off. I mean, I've died to that before, and that is a tilter right there. Because you die, and enemy is going to be detected for a few seconds after that, and no one is able to reflect them. It's really frustrating. But unfortunately for Cool Guys, did not get that first pick, and unfortunately for the Sledge here, not be able to break that barricade for time. But he does eventually manage to get it, and just gonna fire some shots, trying to see if we can pick up any easy pre-fire kills. But unfortunately for him and Cook, there is nobody playing there.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking at the attacking lineup from Cool Guys Esports, nearly a team kill there. But once again, yeah, looking at this attacking lineup, no traditional hard breaches. The only hard breach coming in is Angie Toast on that zero with those secondary gadgets. So very volatile, and honestly, it's a bit risky. We've seen how aggressive Blue Jays Ventus want to get here on this Villa map. Taking out that zero could be hugely damaging. Obviously, because this is AVG, you don't necessarily need that hard breach. Obviously, the only place really would be maybe this wall and study or the 90 wall into the vault. Apart from that, you don't really need it, but I wonder if that's going to come through into attacking other bomb sites, like the Trophy Statuary, where hard breach is really a massive part of it. Obviously, you know, we've seen these changes come through. You don't always need that hard breach. You can get away with the secondary, but only bringing one set along, it's risky.
True, and you can see here that all of the Blue Jays players have already completely cleared out from this trophy area.
It wasted so much time, actually.
Exactly, and especially considering the mute jammers placed, even though even though Blue Jays left the area, you know, Cool Guys completely drawn that out and figured that out until a bit later, and it wasted an extra bit of time. And you can see here is Iana clone having a bit of a tussle with the the Thorn on 90, I believe. But nothing really comes up. 50 seconds left uncooked. It's not looking really good. Map control is still not exactly as Cool Guys would like at this moment in the round, as this map also takes a lot of damage. They do finally get the 90 control so they can open up that wall. But I mean, look at the lineup of Blue Jays. They do have the Chunka in play, so these last seconds
Impact TMPs
are gonna be yeah, I mean, they do have the Thatcher EMPs.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Okay, sorry, my stream lag. Okay, no, Disma does get a trade back onto Dent, but like you said, there's only 20 seconds left. It doesn't look very doable at this point. Something insane is gonna have to come out uncooked, and you can see here that Tusk managed to get one, but gets refrag almost immediately. Last 10 seconds into the round, the plant is nowhere near getting down. Divine does manage to pick up one, but you can see that the C4 in play as well as the Chunka in these positions. You can see the swing is coming out, but what is this? Jeff, very lucky, my friend. You walked right past him.
Okay.
Get your glasses checked. That should never have been. I mean, it was never gonna get the plant down, but It's right in front of you, man. That should never happen.
Yeah, the thing is as well, the player on the Tachanka, I think it may have been Sanity, does actually get killed there as well. So there's a very real possibility that Divine was able to find the kill onto Chep in that situation as well, which means, I mean, that would just be horrific, especially if that plant goes down a little bit earlier. Chep still a little bit more unaware. I mean, that could have been disaster for Blue Jays Ventus, but that's a lot of coulda, woulda, shoulda. And in that round, it does turn out to be that defensive side. Blue Jays Ventus taking the double, so it may be close. Obviously, there's no economy to play with or any fancy stuff like that. It's all just down to round by round. So the round on the board is all that's going to count, and it's going to give them a little bit of confidence, a little bit of momentum coming here into round 2, where they are going to defend Trophy Datchery Jagger. So coming into this, hard breach, again, not that prevalent on the side of Cool Guys Esports, and they've actually swapped off of that one operator, Zero, that had those hard breach charges, which means this triple wall is going to get, it's not going to be opened. They have no hard breach. I mean, it's certainly a questionable decision, and I don't think it's going to work. Like, we've already seen Blue Jays be able to waste so much time. Now they have these barricades and the castle barricades and the reinforcements blocking them off as well. Cool Guys Esports, they need to get a wiggle on here, because otherwise they are just going to be left with absolutely nothing to execute on that site, where once again they can't open the angles that they will need to hold post plant to get into the bomb site to actually make a decent attack, because they once again don't have any of that hard breaching utility.
True, and considering the same issue as last round is, can Cool Guy Esports really take control of this round and, you know, just get the control that they need to execute the ideas that they have in time, because obviously the last round, the biggest problem was that they lost so much time in the early phase that they didn't really have much to do the ending phase. I mean, you can see her slows and angry toast here. Oh, cute, and do manage to get the control, but Chep is there, and he does manage to get that refrag out to Divine, but he decides to smartly go back to site. He got his one, and he realizes it's not really the tree worth barking up to try to get another pick, and this is looking much better from Cool Guy Esports. You know, I asked them literally about 5 seconds ago if they can do exactly what they just did, and they did so on that. But they have lost a fair amount of HP. Toast is on such low health. I think that is around 25 HP, so you know, a single bullet is probably going to be the end of him. So he needs to be a bit careful here, but it does look like Cool Guys have taken it slower in the past few seconds here after they get
They've still got plenty of time though.
Yeah, they do.
That's the thing.
And they're just rolling out the position.
They've made good time. Obviously, though, this is the problem. Without that hard breach, they're going to have to go through these funnels, these bottlenecks. So they need to rely on those grenades from Crazy.com to try and force themselves into this bomb site, because Blue Jays Ventus, they can just hold these angles, and we've seen how good they can be with their guns as well. Where are my magnets now? Catching out some of that utility, and it's actually going to lead to Angitos being down by Chep. He's going to finish that one off. 4-0 right now, and he's looking for more. Cyrilloid, though, finds one onto Crazy, and this man advantage falls apart from Cool Guys because they can only push here through the landing. Any rotation that they make, they have to go through a single doorway that will be watched, especially now that Blue Jays have this advantage. So coming into the last 20 seconds, there's not going to be a lot they can do, but Slows is going to at least find something. Finds one onto Sanity, but here we go. The rotation back upstairs from Disma, because they cannot go anywhere else. These angles being watched by Blue Jays are just too strong. But Lotus forces his way onto that bomb site. There's only 7 seconds, but he found himself down. And that's the diffuser! And Chep finds the second. What a spray, what a kill. And that's another clutch from Chep, and another round going the way of Blue Jays Ventus.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Blue Jays, it's coming closer than they would hope. I mean, even though they lost a man advantage early, considering the fact that Cool Guys didn't have any hard breach, they really shouldn't have been able to get as many kills as they did, because you can see like Blue Jays had the crossfires and angles held in case that any player from Cool Guys tried to enter into side, they would immediately shut down. So for that to go from all the way into a 1v1 at the end is a little bit shaky towards Blue Jays. I mean, it happens at times, you know, like, you know, there's always gunners on Cool Guys team. Slows is a really good gunner, as well as Divine, and I think Disma's a bit unlucky there to lose that gunfight as well, because Castle was just a, you know, a bit too, very not as lost as he would hope to be. So Blue Jays do pick up the second round and go all the way down to the third site. But, you know, it has looked a little bit shaky for them. And, you know, if they really want to shore up, they need to make sure that, especially in the middle and end of the round, they don't really give as many picks away as they did in the first 2 rounds.
5 seconds to go.
Yeah, absolutely. That mid round, absolutely crucial for Cool Guys. But yeah, it was the same issues once again. They didn't really have much utility to actually execute onto the bomb site, and they didn't have the time necessary to execute onto the bomb site, and it was made extra difficult by the fact that they didn't have that utility in the first play.
But we're gonna go on to continue as a third site. They can see the over here again, just playing upstairs on FC, which should make it possible. Divine on the sledge here, stroke off front crazy as being on the double soft breach for the board, so you can definitely tell what kind of push that Cool Guys are gonna try to do. But they do need to be aware because, you know, Sanity, the pulse is playing below, and you can see 1, 2, 3, 4 C4. I'm not sure if Series C4 has just a pre-place or he's already used it, but just in case,
I think it is pre-place.
Yeah, it's probably the bathroom one. I think Dent gets off a really nice little wolf. And Disma there, I'm not sure exactly where he's looking. He gets a second one, and that pre-place from Stevie coming in really clutch as it picks up yet another kill, leaving it into a 2v4 situation uncooked. And what started off as a decent round as Cool Guys managed to get the down onto Kaz ended up being a complete massacre as they could not capitalize even a little bit, and Blue Jays completely soloed them up and leave them in a really difficult position. Even more so now, as Sanity C4 coming out from underneath, and all this information from this pulse uncooked, it's doing wonders for them this round.
Yeah, Sanity really being so strong, and that's why the okay, Esport ready game. Hello. Anyway, the floor does not in fact get opened up by Crazy because it just decides not to. I guess he just didn't believe hard enough. Anyway, 1 versus 4 now. And there's not much intel to go off either. He's just having to face check these angles, having to recheck all those places that he'd previously cleared because they have no intel. Only 5 drones left alive, and I wonder how many of them are left on the flank. Well, he at least gets 1. But now we have Dent back up on this top floor, and Crazy might just rotate straight into it. He has to be so careful here. 1 minute left to go. He's going to rotate through the master bedroom and go down the hatch into laundry. And I think Dent's still on the upstairs, which means it's a 1 versus 2 on the site. We can't even find 1. Cyrilloid locks it out, and that's going to be the 3rd round here in a row for Blue Jays Ventus. And that's their tertiary locked up and loaded. So they're looking pretty good to sail out of this half with a 5-1, maybe even a 6-0 when you look at that rotation. But there's no living library coming out, which makes me deeply upset because it would have been nice to see all 4.
Yeah. Cool Guys not really on the same page, I feel. You know, they downed the guy on the stairs. You know, Dent does pick up the kill onto the sledge, and then Disma on the Ash runs in, completely ignoring that, trying to kill the guy on the stairs. I'm not really sure exactly what happened in that round. I don't know if it was miscommunication or Dent, the call out of Dent's position wasn't really given there exactly, but it was just a little bit of a hodgepodge, and it really ended up fucking Cool Guys.
That's one way to put it.
I'm not even sure they knew the pulse, they didn't even had a pulse, which is unfortunate. But like you said, a complete full sweep for Blue Jays, and they can easily go back to 80 now. And all the pressures on Cool Guys, you know, they need to be able to do really better, in this early and mid game, because, you know, we've seen they've done pretty decently well in this late game last second executes where they're trading really well and getting it down into positions where even though they should have never won, they have a better chance every time. But it's really this improvement in the early and mid game uncooked that I really want to see from them, to be able to get the control they need, get picks especially early in the round, and then do something with that thing and not just AFK and push the same 2 angles like we saw in round number 2. Slows doesn't get swampy this time, so that is an upgrade from the last time that they attacked this side.
Yeah,
and we're gonna see them go for a similar attack, I'm pretty sure, to what they did that time, where they're gonna take the start at Master's bedroom.
Yeah, they need to be a bit quicker with it though. Especially we saw last time, they didn't really have enough time to actually go through with their full execute. And this time, they've brought a little bit more hub reach utility, only on 1 operator still though. That's Angie Toast on the ace. And we can see actually Kaz And also Ceraloid taking up these aggressive positions here inside the trophy and also that statuary room as well. And here we go, the hop over is watched, and that's an MK14 taking out Slow. So even though he didn't get spawn picked, he's still the opening pick on this attack once again, and Kaz doubles down with one onto Disma. Half the round nearly gone, and at least Divine is able to find one back. That's Dent hitting the deck, but now those positions are known, and Cool Guys are still in that disadvantage.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what Slow's thought was happening there. He bolted in straight into the frost tower. I'm not even sure it was the MK14 that got him killed. I'm like pretty sure he died to the frost mat, which is...
No, I think he was in the process of shooting the frost mat as he got downed by the MK14, which is obviously why Frost was popularized in the first place. Obviously, that was the library when attacking Bar Gaming on Villa, but it's the same sort of thing. You have to either look down and get killed by a player, or take the gunfight and get downed by the frost mat. It's a lose-lose situation until you can be sure that you've cleared out all the room and all of the angles, and obviously in that situation there's just way too many angles to clear. And that's unfortunate.
Well.
Kaz.
Oof, just not aware, and you can see there on the cam there's 3 ADSs stacked up on that door. There's nothing you can do there, and it's all down to Divine and Angie Toast. Two players, I mean,
I
they
think actually was the frost mat.
Right?
Because Kaz just got a triple kill there, so that's obviously all 3 players dead. So yeah, like, my bad, I guess just didn't cheat from that quick enough, because that's the thing, he was looking at the floor, so like, who knows? Anyway, it's now a 1 or 2 versus 4 even, make it 2 versus 3. Divine shuts down that frost that's been doing so much, and Anki Toast on the entry is able to find one as well, but now it is all down to that Yana of Divine pushing in to Aviator room. He's got 10 seconds left to try and do something, and 2 players left to 5. Make it 5 seconds now, and he gets taken out from behind the bar. Chet blocks it out, and that's 4-0 now for Blue Jays Ventus, and they are really getting into their game. Maybe that 7-0 is possible.
I mean, I don't really know what else to say. This the same thing is probably the early game and mid round not really the best from Cool Guys, and even though they do pull it back in the end game, it's just not quite enough. I mean, all they have to do is just play a little bit better.
Not throw kills in the first.
Yeah, I know it's easy to say. Just play better. Roll. Let me just hit the head.
Just win, like.
Just win. Like, I don't see the problem. Yeah, I mean, those small mistakes like what happened last round where Slow jumping in the frost match.
We should be 2 on coaches. Why is it not Jagger.G2 and Uncooked.G2?
Exactly. God Emperor, Fabian who? I mean,
Fabian washed.
Exactly.
Yeah, just win. Hello? Get it in. Just told you to. Just win, and it's fine.
True. Just tell. Okay, Alamo, go kill. Blur, go kill. Doki, go kill. Citizen, go kill. You know, Virtue, you can stay on side. We need someone on side. But
I mean, Virtue's been the one that's mainly doing the kills as well, though.
Yeah. I mean, on a completely side note, you know, as a GG fan, it's really nice to see Virtue getting some more of the love he sees, because everyone who plays with Virtue always says that he's the most mechanically gifted player they always play with, but yet he's always put on these like semi-support flex rolls.
He's so generous. He just does the roles that no one else wants to do.
Yeah. And I feel like, you know, he could easily do the role that, you know,
I'm just getting nostalgic for SI 2020 Fanatics now, so we should probably just move on to this round number 5, because once again, it's the trophy statuaries coming out from Blue Jays Ventus. And this time, there will be no spawn peaks once again, although I think actually in the last time, it was Cool Guys Esports to get that opening kill. So maybe, you know, looking to get that again, but even still, they lost the round because they didn't bring any of that hard breach along, but we do have Crazy on the ace, which means they can start to get that triple wall open at some point, maybe after clearing those bandit charges from below. And then that means that they have an extra avenue to put pressure onto this bomb site, an extra avenue to actually access this bomb site now through that master bedroom and the bathroom side, which, I mean, at least it's something, instead of being all crowded over by landing. So they're clearly learning, they're clearly adapting to what they see. And I just don't know whether it's going to be enough. Kaz is spotted out on those red stairs, and that could be the thing that guarantees his first kill for the side of Cool Guy.
And, you know, I like cool guys, you know, they died the pulse, so this time they make sure they're gonna go downstairs, clear it out, spend a little bit of time,
Yeah.
make sure that no one's gonna be playing below to C4. They go, they nomad it off, and now they can actually focus on this exit here. It looks like to be a direct side take, gonna take control of bedroom, and then try to force their way onto site. No more of this study business that they had last round. And you can see here that even though they got the control that they needed, the angles are still there for BLUEJAYS. Sanity is like a few seconds ago, is holding a really nice angle watching downstairs. And you know, there's only 2 nades as well. I just want to point out on the side of Divine. Obviously, nades have been nerfed in their radius, but they can still be really powerful when they have the correct information. And speaking of really powerful, that is a really powerful kill because Den gets that opening pick onto Toast. No more air jabs, no more burn. She is off the board, and that means that Den, no reply, can easily walk back up to site. But speaking of
TCSG, by the way.
Divine just walks up and going into this Azami setup, but doesn't manage to kill her. Was a really close, but that was about it. And this is what I'm seeing from cool guys, where they're just having these disconjointed one-on-one fights, not really there to refrag each other, and it's really not helping them at all, and it's costing them a lot. I mean, Sloth as well gets down to critical, as well as this one in the 2v4 with 20 seconds.
I've got you. You'll be all right.
They know the position of one of these players as the other team is out, and Sloth picked off. Kaz does end up picking Slows. The hip fire from Chep is good, and Kaz is good for the second onto Chris. And this is, I mean, it's a very poor execute, I feel, from crazy cool guys. You know, they got the downstairs control, and then they just took a lot more time and lost a lot of their ones. And I think that is my biggest I guess my biggest jive that I would say is that they're not really playing as a team. They're just gonna go for the solo kills, Divine trying to make hero play, and they're getting the ones, but you always need someone to refrag. I mean, if someone was in bathroom, I mean, obviously I know the Goishi was pop, so it's not possible, but like Divine could just stress a bit more. Someone could try to push the fire for the refrag. It's always better to play as a team in this game. Like if for anyone, especially if you're new to this game, if you take a 1 and always lose, you always want someone to dare to refrag you. It's a very simple thing. That's why you can see a lot of teams. I mean, I think a very good example of this is W7M in LATAM. They always play in pairs of 2s. They're one of the best teams.
Especially on the roam as well. That's the thing. Usually you see solo roamers. W7M are so good at having that duo out on the roam. They can always get those refrags, and often teams don't expect it, which enables that second player to get 1 or 2 picks, really swing the balance. And that's not really what we're seeing here from cool guys. They're being on their own, they're not backing each other up, and there's just the communication doesn't seem to be there. The team play, the strategy, like the gun skill obviously is, but there's more to that in being a pro player in Siege.
If you just want to go with mechanics, just go play Valorant. Okay. Jokes. I know. It's a big debate to see if Valorant is the easier game to learn than Siege, and you know, we all have our opinions on it, but it's a controversial thing. Let's not get into it at the moment. But it's a pretty big demolishing of
It's different.
Can they even
Let's just say
one?
it's different and leave it at that.
It's different. I mean, we can talk about this a little bit more. I feel like I can have an entire debate about this, but that is for later. We can see they've gone back to kitchen, and once again they're running this pulse setup. And cool guys, I'm not sure if they are aware. It doesn't even seem like they are, because they're just kind of walking in brazenly. I mean, right now
and just holding angles.
So he is fine, but they need to be very careful, because once again there are 4 C4s underneath. Those 4 C4s can be detrimental to their push later on. It just takes one mistake or one misplay, and all of the fireworks can go off, and cool guys can be completely down and out for the round. But it seems to be fine for now, as Disma is going to be using the Ash Charge to open up the target. I'm not really sure exactly what that is, but Kaz, they're really brazy aggressive with the peak, really showing his confidence there by picking up that kill. As crazy on the vertical as well, is getting really lit up by this castle. I mean, the UMP is doing work all of these rounds, and Dent, he's also doing work, and the kill upstairs, oh my god,
he's able to rotate
Dent
away.
Walked up, he just walks up red with no, like, I'm not sure exactly what happened there. I mean, no fight, nothing.
He's just able to rotate away as well, just get away absolutely scot-free. Toast can do nothing. Neither can Divine, at least in this round, because Chet takes him out with that shotgun. At least Slows is able to find one onto Kaz. They still got 4 more to find collectively, and now it is all down on Slow as he's going to have to ace to win this 1 versus 4 as Chet finds another. And he knows the angle. He's going to spray, but he's down so low.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Just going to have to try and swing it, and Cerealoid locks it out. 6-0 half for Blue Jays Ventus. Just
really
absolutely ridiculous. I mean, that puts it lightly.
Let's not completely destroy them, right? Cool guys are playing, I think, with 2 subs, and you know that does really affect it. When you're playing with 1, it affects the game. When you're playing with 2, it may make it completely impossible. You're just playing a rank game at that point, and I think that maybe to do with one of the parts as to why they're not playing as well. But it's still a really poor showing when you're down 0-6. I mean, it's a lot of small mistakes that they can easily just fix if they just have a little bit more communication.
Attackers need to locate
So
and defuse as many bombs as they
we can see in our production chat that if cool guys do get 7-0, that will put us briefly back into the schedule perfectly as it should be. So we know what stuff is hoping will happen in this round. But I think cool guys will be able to at least pull out a 1 or 2 at least on, I hope, on the defensive side, because you know, even if you are disjointed, you can do what G2 did at the start of stage 1, where even if you can't play as a team, you can always just frag out on the defense side if you have the mechanical skill. And we see that cool guys do have a few players who are really popular, and you can see that they're having a really frag heavy lineup with Alibi, Melusi, Thunderbird.
5 seconds left before
You can tell the ideas that they're going to be going for in this round. It's going to be up to them if they can execute it as they want.
Attackers dropped the diffuser. Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously,
So,
they've got to match that record to have any chance to gain points. Yeah, I'm about 2.5 seconds behind.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just saying Tep is 10-1 at the moment. That is crazy.com, as some would say. I mean, it's not crazy.com, it's just pretty crazy. You know what, just ignore it. But you can see your drones are coming out, slows, taken off the board, immediately dead by Dent, but you can see the trap from Posters and 2 kills of the people playing in bathroom, but he gets a bit too overheated, as you would say in the Valorant community, by over-peaking a bit too much after getting a bit excited, and brings it back into a even 3v3. You know, I really like that saying overheating. It makes so much sense. You know, you pop off and then you just get the confidence and you overpeak it and then you die. It's a really good term. I think we should start using it for Siege.
Yeah.
But what he should be used for Siege is exactly that, because Pizza.com, he dies, and the drone hole is almost enough to actually take out Kaz. But both Den and Kaz are on really low HP, and Kaz yet to use a single lines kind of in the round. Does manage to finally use one and get capitalize it, and it's all down to Disma. 2-6 in the round. Can he do what his team needs to keep them in the game? You know, he's looking at this angle.
I don't think so, honestly.
I mean, it's a Siege. You never know, considering Dent is 1 HP, Kaz is 1 HP. But like I said, you know, BLUEJAYS are taking it really slow. They're trying to drone out his position, not to go too fast and give him the chance. We can see this does get that first pick. Sanity
he has the C4 as well.
Goes off a bit too long, and it looks like Sanity is going to be able to
Attackers are
Disma?
Oh. And he does get the second trade as well, but the diffuser is and that means it is a 7-0 victory for BLUEJAYS. Cool guys. Not the best for performance by cool guys there, and they have a lot to work on before the next game, and I'm sure that they will have their eyes opened, and hopefully they do work and give us a better showing in that next game, because a 7-0, especially in the first weekday game, is never something that you want to experience. But that is it for our first game, but Cook, we do have another game, but obviously we will have a quick little 10-minute break before we get into that game. Luckily for us, we're right back up on the schedule now, so no one's going to be late for any games or anything like that. Thank you, cool guys, for helping us with that decision. But yeah, we're going to take a quick little 10-minute break and then come back with Vivid United versus Kaiudo. Kaiudo? Kyudo? Kyudo?